Welcome back, mentors. Today, we're diving into a controversial and thought-provoking topic that has sparked countless debates throughout history, the omnipotence paradox. Is it a legitimate challenge to the concept of an all-powerful being, or is it, as some argue, a flawed paradox that doesn't stand up to scrutiny? Join me as we explore why I believe the omnipotence paradox is totally wrong and fake. Let's unravel the layers and rethink what it truly means to be all-powerful. This is Mentority, and I'm Vinay. What is omnipotence paradox? Before we demonstrate just how incorrect and unfounded the omnipotence paradox is, let's first try to understand what it actually is. The omnipotence paradox is a philosophical and logical challenge that arises when considering the concept of omnipotence, which is the quality of being all-powerful. The paradox is often framed as a question or a series of statements that highlight a potential inconsistency in the idea of an all-powerful being. The paradox is most commonly expressed through a question like this: can an omnipotent being create a rock so heavy that even they cannot lift it? This seemingly simple question leads to a logical contradiction when one considers the implications of both possible answers. Let's break down the paradox. If the omnipotent being can create a rock so heavy that they cannot lift it, this suggests a limit to the being's power, because there is now something they cannot do: lift the rock. Therefore, they are not truly omnipotent. If the omnipotent being cannot create a rock so heavy that they cannot lift it, this also implies a limitation to their power, because there is something they cannot create, an unliftable rock. Again, this challenges the idea of omnipotence. The paradox essentially points out that if an all-powerful being exists, their power should have no limits. However, the act of creating an unliftable rock seems to impose a limit on their power, leading to a logical contradiction. The omnipotence paradox has been discussed by philosophers and theologians throughout history, and numerous responses and attempts to resolve the paradox have been proposed. Some argue that the paradox relies on a misunderstanding of the concept of omnipotence, or that it involves a misuse of language. Others suggest that the paradox highlights the inherent difficulties in defining and understanding the nature of an all-powerful being. Why omnipotence paradox has become obsolete and false. The omnipotence paradox's validity can be better understood by considering the date of its discovery. The exact origin of the omnipotence paradox is somewhat disputed, but it has roots in medieval philosophy. It's believed to have emerged at least as early as the 10th century. Saadia Gaon, a Jewish philosopher, was the first person to discuss the question of whether God's omnipotence extended to logical absurdities, laying the groundwork for the paradox during the 10th century. Thomas Aquinas, one of the prominent Christian theologians, developed the paradox, arguing that God's omnipotence is not boundless, and that he cannot act contrary to his own nature, including creating logically impossible things. I think the omnipotence paradox is based on a false premise. The weight of a stone can be estimated based on the gravitational force exerted on that planet. If there is such a planet with an unlimited amount of gravitational force, then of course such a stone can exist. But that planet will not be habitable for humans. A white dwarf is one such object, or we can say a star in this world, where the gravity will be unlimited, and such a stone will exist. Whoever wrote this theory, at that time no such white dwarf would have been discovered. A white dwarf is a type of star that represents the final stage in the evolution of stars like our Sun. It is a small, dense star with a very faint luminosity. White dwarfs are named after their white color, which is due to their high temperature and low luminosity. The first white dwarf to be discovered was 40 Eridani b, which was found in 1783 by British astronomer William Herschel. Therefore, we can say that the omnipotence paradox has become obsolete because it was discovered during the 10th century, when some white dwarfs with unlimited gravity were not discovered. We can also say that a stone that we cannot lift on Earth can be easily lifted on the Moon. That omnipotent being has already given us many possibilities of such a stone, so it would be wrong to say that he cannot create such a stone, or if he created it, he cannot lift it. However, I believe that the omnipotence paradox is entirely unfounded, because God is so powerful that he can do anything, including lifting such a stone. Let's take an example to understand this theory. It might be possible that God has made a stone that he couldn't lift himself. However, it is also possible that he could create his own two avatars, where one avatar could lift that stone, and another one couldn't lift it. We can better understand this through the example of Sri Hanuman, the mighty Hindu god, who was the avatar of Lord Shiva. When Sri Hanuman was unaware of his superpowers, he couldn't lift a large stone created by Lord Shiva. However, when Jamavanta inspired him to cross the ocean, to convey Lord Rama's message to Mata Sita, he became conscious and aware of his superpowers. So, the same person who was initially unable to lift the mighty stone, was later able to lift a whole mountain, after realizing his superpowers. The existence of an avatar like Sri Hanuman negates the omnipotence paradox, because he is the same person, or being who couldn't lift such a heavy stone, while oblivious about his powers. Then, when he becomes conscious of his powers, knowing that he is Lord Shiva's avatar, he could not only lift such a stone, but also take it a long distance. Thanks for joining the discussion, mentors. If you found this exploration of the omnipotence paradox intriguing, don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe for more content challenging conventional wisdom. Remember, skepticism is a key element of intellectual growth. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep mentoring. Until next time, this is Mentority, Empowering Minds. I'm Vinay, signing off. Stay curious.